So I'm getting right there towards the end of Shadowbringers. I actually just finished up 5.3 and wrapped up the main story. And let me just say, it is without a doubt one of my favorite experiences in gaming thus far. I've loved everything about this expansion. It never felt like there was any downtimes, but there were quite a few really good moments throughout my experience here, and I've listed out my top 10, the ones that I loved the most, in order from 10 all the way to my favorite moment out of this entire expansion. So here we go. So the first one, even though it's kind of a joke on my channel and on my streams, is the damn trolley. Good God, I spent 3 streams dealing with this damn trolley, trying to get it up and running and getting the stupid Talos to work and to do all that. And it kind of became a running joke just because of the character Jerk. He was all about doing, you know, trolleys. That was his thing. That was what he loved and all that. And every time I thought that I was just about finished with dealing with Amarang, I had to keep going because there was more trolley problems that needed to be solved. And at one point I was like, I hate this. I hate the trolleys. I'm done with this. No more, no more. And then, of course, it kind of makes me laugh too, is because when we were doing one of the final dungeons in 5.3, we got to go all the way through all the different zones that we had been to previously, and then there was the frickin' trolley again. So the trolley, of course, being important because it's how we were to get to the other side of Amarang so that we could go and fight off one of the final light wardens. I understand why we had to do it, but good gracious, this was just a pain in the neck. Number 9, keeping along with the theme of a specific zone, was the Raktiki Great Woods, or I called it the Rafiki Great Woods. Hearing the first La-Hee and being a part of the joke actually was a lot of fun.
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he...
Because then I was shared the video of Soken, who was quite literally singing La-Hee with it. I think it's like an automaton or something like that. It was just one of those really cool experiences because not only is it kind of like an earworm, let's be serious, the music is very earwormy, but it sets like the precedence of what this zone is and adds kind of a tone to it. And I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the Great Wood and hearing the La-Hee. And so much so is that like I even made a couple of memes about it and did all that, and it was a lot of fun. My next moment came a little bit after the Vothri attack on Lakeland, and that was Lyna's breakdown.
Come so far, so goddamn far! I could have sworn the end was in sight, and now they will never see it.
So throughout this story, we saw Lyna as this strong, arduous character who was, of course, being the captain of the guard. She was very, dedicated to her duty. She was a BA warrior. Like, there's a lot of features about her that were really, really good. And then to see her break down and show that emotional side after all that they had been through there in Lakeland and of course the Crystarium, and to have her soldiers die and have their people die, it was a huge traumatic moment for her. And honestly, like, it was really cool to see that depth, that exploration of her character a little bit more. And of course we find out more throughout the story of like 5.3 that we find, the relationship between her and then the Crystal Exarch. It adds to a level of seriousness, but I even mentioned it on stream. One of the things that I really liked about Lyna, and what I like about good, well done female characters, is that they are strong, they are independent, they are capable of carrying their own weight, but they still have that almost like feminine side, which is really cool. And they did Lyna perfectly in that regard. I feel like she really set up the stage for how great the emotion behind this attack and losing her soldiers. You're adding emotion, you're actually feeling a pull to these characters that you otherwise probably wouldn't have. So it was really cool to see her have that depth in emotion in comparison to her just being, she could have just been a strong female character and then that was it. Like, she was always strong, that was always her. But they added this depth to her just with that one little moment. And the cutscene was like less than a minute, but it's such a small touch to a side character that adds so much more. And I really, really like that. Number 7 is the Welcome to Shadowbringers moment. This moment shows a bit of respite of us finding Alice and working with her friend Tesleen, who is trying to make sure that these people who have already been infected by the light, who will eventually turn into light wardens, have a good journey's end. That's the name of the town that they're in. Tesleen jumps in to save a boy from a Sin Eater, and she ends up getting stabbed and infected and pumped full of light energy as well. And then her visceral reaction to where her face is melting and is just, like her whole body is just being metamorphosized into a Sin Eater in such a visceral way. It was such a disgusting, but almost like you couldn't not watch moment. And I've heard that they had to censor it from what they originally wanted to do because they really wanted to set a precedence of what being a Sin Eater was like. If they're introducing an enemy, a new type of enemy, they really have to pressure, like, this is what's at stake. These are what these creatures are doing. And it was such a terrifying moment because even in that change, like, she was very well aware. And it kind of shows that it's almost like she became a Sin Eater, Tesleen became a Sin Eater, but she was still aware of her surroundings. She hadn't lost herself completely. Like, she was able to look over to Alice and say, I'm sorry. And then she even cried out for her mother, and it was just like this holy crap kind of moment that I even made a whole video about it because I was like, this is ridiculous. It's such a stage setter that early on into the game. It was just, oh, perfect. Because then from everything after that, you know what's at stake and you know what these enemies are capable of. And that's what's really important. I really like. Number 6 is from Ilmeg, and that is the fairy attacks.
I said
they're all trees. Oh, called it! Holy crap, this was one of the funniest moments and also horrifying, objectively horrifying moments that I have ever seen. So, to set up the stage, we defeat Titania, Beowulf becomes the king of the fairies, and we bring back the knight. There we go. Okay, we suck up all the holy juice, everything's cool. Ranjit is hunting us in Minfilia, trying to capture us and take us back to Yulmore, and his soldiers get attacked by a bunch of fairies. Not only just like the normal fairies, with I think they're called the Foth, which are the water fairies, and then the doggo boys start attacking the soldiers. And there's at one point where a captain is like, go get them, go arrest them. And he's like, are you guys deaf? And he turns around and they're bushes. The fairies are flying around. Imagine just 1 second you're a bush and you're sentient. You're aware that you are a bush now. Like, just imagine how terrifying. Oh, and then this one soldier steps into a puddle and gets sucked into the puddle from the fair. Like, that was a horror movie in a nutshell right there, so quickly, just bang, bang, bang. And I was cracking up. I thought the moment was great. I thought it was a lot of fun, but it was also incredibly terrifying to know that the fairies have that kind of power. And of course, Titania flies in with a whole flock of other fairies, and then Ranjit has to run. But the idea is that it sets a horrifying stage, is that even though the pixies and the fairies are having fun, yay, we're all happy, everything's cool, they have terrifying magical powers. And it's like an underlying like threat that I feel like it was just incredibly well personified. All the different people are turning into bushes and stuff like that. It was horrendous, but fantastic. Number 5 is, it's kind of a combo, but it's just Urianger's water problems in this expansion. So there's 2 separate moments. So after we defeat Emmett Selk and we come back up from the Tempest and all that, we have to swim. And at one point, Urianger isn't with us and we can't find him. We have no idea where he went. And they're like, oh yeah, he'll turn up. And as camera's panning out, this man is in the bottom left corner, struggling for his life. He is fighting for his life to get out of the water. And he's having all these problems, and everyone's just like, hey, it's just Urianger. I'm like, come on, help the giraffe out. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? This kind of thing happens again after we go to talk to Bismarck for the second time. Urianger figures out a way to walk on water, and he casts a spell. And then he falls into the water because he's a little bit shaky because he's running out of aether energy. And he just falls into the water, and it's just the most abysmal, like, whoa. And it's like, I get it, my boy's really good with books and, fortune telling and all that stuff, but like, hot damn, dude, just, you have a boat right there, just get into it. I thought that moment was fun. I had a laugh off of that. Number 4 is actually Estinian and Gaius teaming up to take on Xenos. Now, while the fight was incredibly short, it is a hilarious kind of like moment if you think about it, because the main villain of A Realm Reborn, of course, was Gaius, And Estinian at one point becomes our enemy with Nidhogg during Heavensward. And then, of course, Xenos was the primary villain of Stormblood. And to seeing that Heavensward and A Realm Reborn kind of worked together to attack Stormblood, it was just this really kind of like ironic moment that these two met and that they were working together. The combat, the combinations that they were doing in their fight was incredible. Cinematically, like that could be its own, you know, TV show, honestly, just like the two of them. And I'd watch it. I paid Netflix an extra $100 for that. But the idea of what they are doing to stop Xenos, because Xenos goes in and murders Vars, his father, and they're fighting back and forth, and they get to a point where they realize that, you know, like, we are absolutely no match to Xenos, and even him coming back from whatever death that he actually experienced, I don't know. I don't think he's okay. We're probably going to find that out here soon. It was really, really cool to see that transition, to see that change between those two, Gaius and Estinian, to come back and fight Xenos, and in the throne room of all places, that was really, really cool. I like that sequence. That was one of my favorite moments. Number 3 and 2 both have to deal with the finale of 5.3, which is where we had to fight Elidibus as the Warrior of Light. My number 3 top moment in the expansion was definitely after we get Shadow banished to the Shadow Realm or the Death Realm or the Void Zone, whatever you want to call it. We use one of the floor candies that we found to be able to summon Emmett Selk, who comes in, and it's not him, it's one of the Amorite people, or Amorot people, and he literally just frees us and we all appear. Elidibus can't believe it, and as he's walking away, as the Amorot person is walking away, he does Emmett Selk's hand wave. Like, distinguishable, that is Emmett Selk. No shit!
To me, warriors of light!
And it was just such a moment that even in all of the craziness that Emmett really wanted to do and what he was trying to create, he created that memory. He created that stone because it was almost in that point. He believed in that moment that maybe what him and the Askians are doing is not actually the true path, is not the fair path. So he had to have created that and set us up for that kind of moment, that if we did that, he would be able to come and free us. Like, the amount of forethought, the amount of just caring, and shows the depth of Emmett Selk as a villain. It's like, he's really a likable character. He's a really well done villain, because it's like he's doing it because he's bring back the people and bring back his Askian homeworld, but he also kind of realizes, you know, maybe this isn't the best way. He has that air about him, and it's done in such a fantastic way that when you see the hand wave, oh, that was such a clutch moment, everything coming together. Like, I loved it. And it shows that, and it further insinuates, which the expansion patches or the post patches really did a good job of showing, that there was a discrepancy between Elidibus and Emmett Selk, to show that they did not have as aligned views as they had once thought. That was really, really important. My number 2 moment was the moment that we, of course, defeated Elidibus in that fight. The Warrior of Light fight was just incredible, and it was so intense because, again, first off, the character model was supposed to be the first Warrior of Light from the Final Fantasy. And it was just so well done. The fight was so intense. There's so many things going on. The Crystal Exarch pulls his trump card, which is to literally use the Crystal Tower as like the white Auracite to banish Elidibus and to get rid of Elidibus. And the fact that he was like struggling even to be there to stand up because he was using so much of his power. The Warrior Light, or the Warrior Darkness, I should say, goes over there, grabs his staff. They all, like, the power starts flowing, everything's all cool, and they stand together to stop Elidibus. And right after, you get this emotional scene, this heartbreaking scene of Elidibus, and it's almost like he's a young adult, a young teen who had to make a sacrifice for himself to be the Zodiarch, or the Heart of Zodiarch, and it's such a sad moment. He was so dedicated to his job because he was so young. As the emissary, he was so young.
Stay strong. Keep the faith. At duty's end, we will meet again. We will. We will.
Jesus. In that regard, because it's like you know that he was doing what he thought was best, but after so long, after all the sacrifices that were that happened to be able to make Zodiark real, to make him that kind of, it's just it's a dagger to the heart to have someone that young do it. It reminded me actually kind of Valthree. Valthree was quite literally born a sin eater in man and molded into this character. Like, that's why his character was Innocence. It was because he never had a choice. He was always forced to do what he was told to do, and he never knew another way. Overall, that fight, that scene was just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, my favorite moment in all of Shadowbringers can be broken down into two, and of course it is with our boy Emmett Selk. My first favorite moment in the clash against Emmett Selk was when we are sitting there basically knocked out, we're done, we can't fight any further because we're overloaded with light, and Ardbert reaches his axe down and hands it to us. Like, that moment, like, I mean, I'm still kind of getting goosebumps right now because it is such a full circle, just a climactic moment that it's like, even though we are on the precipice of dying ourselves and becoming a Light Warden, like, we have the original Warrior of Light for the First to be there to support us and merge us together. And then cue the music, cue the Shadowbringers theme, and it's just, yeah, what more could you want? That was such, like, again, I'm getting goosebumps just even talking about it because that was such an epic moment. I loved it. Oh my goodness, I love that moment. He's gonna take some of the light from us.
Take it. We fight as one.
Oh, the music! And of course, then we find out that, you know, Party Finder is canon now, which I thought was kind of hilarious. That was a fun little side bit. But it was such an epic moment right then and there. And paired with that, the fight was incredible. The fight was amazing. I love the fight. At the end of it, after we blast our holy light all the way through Emmett and essentially just like mortally wound him, we have this almost like sad moment where Emmett is just asking, and it's not even like he's afraid of death at this point, which, you know, that's Askian's always card. It's like, you can't kill me because I'll just go to, you know, to my little Aether station, regenerate, and then come back. And it's like, he realizes that he's dying, and all he asks is for us to remember him. It's all he asks. All he asks is just remember us. Remember that we existed.
Remember. Remember us.
Homeboy, you got a little hole in your body.
Remember that we once lived.
I actually kind of feel bad for him. And it's just, oh my goodness. Oh, that was such a heartbreaking moment because throughout our entire journey of Shadowbringers, Emmett never really wanted to kill us. He could have probably killed us at any of the different points that we were fighting the Light Wardens, or he could have ended any one of us, but he chose not to because he wanted to see what we could do. He wanted to see if we were going to be worthy to be in his rejoined world. That's what his whole objective was. And then after we soaked up Valthree's juice, he found out that we weren't going to be able to take it. So he's like, anyway, I'm going to go back to my plans and do what I need to. You know, here we go. It was such a sad moment to see Emmett go. And it's just somber because even the Warrior of Darkness realizes it and he just gives a nod. Oh, God, it's such a good moment. Such a good moment. Well, those are my top 10. Those are the ones that I thought that I had the most memory of Shadowbringers, of this expansion. I really, really liked. I also do want to let you know I am playing through Final Fantasy 16. I have a whole playlist linked here. Please check it out. I've been having a great time with it and catching up on all those story beats. You can see the playlist here. Aside from that, I stream Mondays and Fridays at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm working my way through the rest of all the other shenanigans in Shadowbringers, but you can definitely catch that, and then as I progress on the way to Endwalker. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, stay caffeinated, folks.